The reason I thought I would never be an author, that is the question and the statement that I am making. And it's all because when I was young, when I was in school and where you're supposed to have teachers that are inspirational to you, it wasn't quite the case for me. In fact, when I was in English, I was terrible in school. My mind was always focused on rugby, the weather, what's outside the window, and never really on education at that time. In fact, I was actually laughed at during an English class where we had to make a short story because it was so ridiculous. And you could look back at that as being something of, maybe a good imagination and perhaps something that will develop to create bigger stories as you get older. So my confidence as a writer was terrible. It wasn't until I took it upon myself to start working on my handwriting and writing in general that things improved. And it was because of the love that I had for it, not because of what was being forced at me at the time. Then, as I got older, writing was never on my radar. But suddenly, something happened in my life where I just had this nagging story and I didn't know where it came from, why I had to write it. But that inspiration just kind of blossomed. So I started writing what you can see on the left of me now, which was Deep, the Climate of Truth. That book has been well received. I understand there are some errors in there, but that's part of my learning journey. Lots of people have really loved that book, given it great ratings, and the sequel as well. And on my right, you'll see my latest novella, which is The Words of 11. That is a really good story in my mind in comparison to how much my writing has advanced and, the direction it's gone in. And I really love that story as well. Now, here's the thing. I thought I would never be a writer. I thought I would never have the ability to be a writer. But not only have I been a writer, since I started writing that first book, I reached out into the writing community on Twitter, as it was back then, and they gave me massive amounts of help. So I started a podcast called the Writing Community Chat Show. That then blossomed from a podcast with myself and my co-host Chris Hooley into a live streaming video podcast. That now has over 350 author interviews. We've interviewed some of the best people in the world, some of the best indies you'll ever meet, and some of the best time sellers you can find as well. So it's there to see and to recognize that if you have doubts as yourself, as an author, as a writer, or as anything in the creative world, there is no limitations to putting the work in and finding out that you can actually do these things. And it's something we've heard over and over on the show, that actually, if you keep working at it, if you keep believing, then you can achieve. And that's all down to, some people say positive manifestations, but that could be a case of, yes, you're thinking about it all the time, but does that then force you into the action of moving forward? And I suppose it does. So be positive. Think about what you can achieve. Think about what you want to achieve and actually sit down and put the work in, because it won't happen if you don't sit down and put the work in. But this is a testimony to anyone who thinks they can't do what they think they can't do, and to those who are thinking that they are doing what they want to do, but it hasn't quite happened yet. Keep working, keep building that author brand, and you will see things happen if you start believing in yourself. So this is my message as someone who thought I could never be an author. I could never get a book out. Now I have. I'm writing screenplays. I'm adapting things. I'm always looking at new things, and hopefully it will keep moving forward. My writing has improved, and so is my mentality when it comes to this ability. So there you go. If you want a lot of inspiration, please check out our show and all the interviews that we've had on there. They've been fantastic, and we've learned so much from the guests that we've had. But there you go. There's my very quick story about, making things possible. And I hope you've had a great day, great weekend, and, you take some advice or some inspiration from this as well. Good writing, keep on going. The Writing Community Chat Show, together as one, we get it done. Thank you.